Hello everyone, this is Joey from Forte Courses, and I wanted to go over how to change lighting with Adobe Photoshop's neural filters, specifically on the face, and then use it to composite into another image. We'll also go over an older technique, which I think is a lot easier, but if you really want to get into the new features that Adobe is offering us, and I think they'll get better and better, let's just take a look, shall we? All right, so I've got a couple really cool photographs from Unsplash, and I'll link to the artists in the description. We've got this beautiful model and this gentleman standing in a room. Now, you'll notice between the two that each one is opposite facial lighting. So what if I wanted to take this guy's head and put it onto this guy's head? So what we'll need to do is, first I'm going to flip the lighting with the neural filter and then send it over to the other image. So let's go to Filter, Neural Filters. And once this pops up, we can click on Smart Portrait. Now again, there's plenty of options in here, and I've gone over a few of them in some of our other videos, so take a look at those. But what we're going to take a look at today is light direction. So I'm going to check that. And I'm also going to turn off retain unique details. This tends to give issues where the lighting isn't changed quite as much as it could be. So let's take a look at this without, and then I'll show you with. So I need to flip the lighting, so I'm going to send this all the way to the right, and we'll let it think for a minute. And now we've got a dramatic lighting difference. We'll do a preview of before and after. Make sure you use this button in the bottom left-hand corner of the panel, because if you check and uncheck this, you're going to waste a lot of time re-uploading your image to the cloud so that it processes. So this is a before, and this is an after. Not totally perfect, but it saved us a lot of time in having to like re-highlight and shadow things with adjustment layers. I mentioned that I wanted to see a with retain unique details, so let's take a look at that. I'm going to turn that on, and it's going to keep it within 90% of the original image. Basically what that does is it keeps the eyes, the nose, the mouth the same, and doesn't use machine learning in order to calculate how it could look with other images. But it takes a little bit to think here, so I'll let it process. And you'll see here that it's not quite flipped, right? If we look at a before and after, the lighting is a little bit better and it looks more natural than the other image, but it's not as obvious, or it looks more like the original, and the lighting is still definitely coming from the left. So it looks a little bit worse this way, and I don't really need him to look exactly the same as the original image, so it's okay with me if I turn off this retain unique details. So I'm going to leave that off, and we'll send this to the other image. Okay, let's output this. I always choose new layer, and it will duplicate it over for me. So, okay. And it's just going to save this one section into the image. And you'll notice if you turn off here, it's got some like odd spaces. So what I tend to do is flatten the images together so that we've got a single image that we can mask more easily into the other one. So I'm going to select both of these and then merge layers. Okay, let's send this over. I'm going to right click, duplicate layer, and then choose my other document. And we'll say okay. Okay, great. So first thing we need to do is kind of try to size them similarly. So pretty close. What I'm going to do is make a selection of his face, M for the marquee tool. And I'm going to just grab here and then create a mask. And lower the opacity so we can transform it to try to kind of get a similar location. Command T. Now I'm doing all this as non-destructive adjustments so that we're not losing any of our original data. That way I can have a little bit more control over what is what. All right, so what I'm looking at right now is I'm trying to match the eyes between the two, and it's giving me the wrong adjustment there. And that's pretty close. Just need to move it over a little bit more. Well, their lips are quite off, so let's keep transforming this. And if you hold the Alt key and grab on one of these side points, it will size the whole thing uniformly, top, bottom, left, right, and then you don't have to zoom out in order to grab the corner points. Let's go a little bit bigger, try to match the mouth and the nose here. And I think that's close enough. Enter to commit the changes, bring the opacity back, and then with a soft brush, I'm gonna erase the mask. Make sure you're selected the layer mask. There we go. Black conceals, white reveals. That's my little way to remember. Okay, and we're just gonna, this will be pretty rough because I'm going a little bit faster than I normally would if I wanted this to be really perfect. And maybe get rid of that hairline. Okay, cool. So obviously there's some color issues. So the next thing I would do in order to make this look more realistic is give it a curves adjustment. Excuse me. Let's say curves. I like curves better than levels because it allows me to change the colors as well as the highlights and shadows. I'm going to make this a clipping mask so it's only affecting this top layer. So let's raise the highlights and bring in a little bit, lift the shadows a bit, because you'll notice in this other image there aren't really solid blacks, so we can lift this up a little bit and it'll match the quality of the blacks a little bit better. And I might even give it a little bit of a washed out. Now we need to end up making this a little bit more purpley, so I might raise my reds a little bit and my blues. You can already see I'm starting to match the skin tones pretty closely, and I might take a little bit of green away. Not too much, maybe just in the highlights. Let's get rid of that. Double click on a point to, or click and drag it down to get rid of it. There we go. Okay, so with no color correction, with color correction, curves is a great way to match for photo combining. So there we go. And the lighting is quite convincing. Obviously the masking could be a little bit cleaner, but I think that we just gave ourselves a totally new face. Let's start over, right? Let me turn this off. Let's duplicate this image over with the original. I'm just going to undo that flip, because there's one way that we could do this a lot more simply than using that neural filter. I'm going to duplicate this, duplicate it over. This is the way we did it in the old days, right? Before all this fancy machine learning. Let's resize this. And we're just going to get it kind of rough. Rough size. Okay, the trick, you want to know the trick? Command T to transform, right click and flip horizontal. Boom. No need for machine learning. We've got ourselves the perfect match, and we don't need it to look exactly the same because it doesn't need to be the same. So if you are running quick on time, transform, flip, and mask away. Thanks for watching our video on how to flip lighting with the Adobe Neural Filters and Photoshop. I hope you find it useful. I think that it has a lot of potential for making slight adjustments within your photo compositing, and we're looking forward to making some more videos for you. If you like this type of content, please consider liking and subscribing so you can find out more about what we're doing at Forte Courses. Have a great day.